We need to see Mr. Spence. We have a warrant for his arrest.
What's going on?
There he is.
Hey, what are you doing? Hey, tell me when you give me a warrant. You're not allowed to.
Imagine you are home with the family one night and the police knock on your door to arrest your partner.
What are you doing? Get up! Get up! Get up! You tell me what he's doing.
You and the children are scared and crying. After someone has been arrested and charged, they can sometimes be released on bail.
So how'd you go?
I want $5 grand for his bail.
Have you got $5 grand?
Of course I haven't.
Well, then you can't pay it.
Courts can be intimidating places. The language used during a trial can be difficult to understand, and courts have strict rules for conducting business. Some cases will be heard in a local court by a magistrate. More serious cases will be heard in the district court, and the most serious in the Supreme Court, sometimes by a judge alone and sometimes with a jury. It can take a long time for a trial to reach the courts, and living in limbo can be stressful. But for Brian, his day in court has finally arrived. The magistrate, as you can see, is normally positioned a little higher than the rest of the courtroom. Magistrates work without a jury and are responsible for determining the outcome of the case and any penalty to be imposed. A defendant who is in custody will be brought into the courtroom by a sheriff, who will then stand guard for the duration of the hearing.
And when you first spoke to her, she was quite distraught, wasn't she?
She was.
She could have been mistaken, couldn't she?
As someone approaches sentencing, this can be quite a stressful time for families and one they need to really prepare for emotionally. If that person is sentenced to a long custodial sentence or a few years, it can be a real shock for the family.
Brian has been found guilty and he has remained in custody pending sentencing.
You pleaded not guilty and the court has found you guilty. I sentence you to a term of imprisonment comprising of a 15-month period of non-parole with a total sentence of 20 months imprisonment. The prisoner can be taken away.
How's it going?
When someone first enters the system, they'll be taken to a reception centre where they'll be interviewed by prison staff.
To find out where someone is, you need to contact Sentence Administration.
Once the inmate's phone card is set up, they should be able to call you. But it's good to understand that that can take a while. It could take a week or even a bit longer.
It is important for family members to remember that that first prison that they're taken to is not necessarily where they're going to remain. After a short period of time, they'll receive a classification and that will determine the jail that they're then sent to.
A lot of our jails in New South Wales are in country areas and someone may find themselves a long way from home.
When you talk about rural locations like Bathurst and Goulburn and Muswellbrook, it's almost impossible from a financial point of view, and also logistically people just can't afford to get there. So the CRC bus service is a fundamental part of family members' lives.
CRC does have buses that run to some country jails from Sydney and they pick up at various points along the way.
Visits are a privilege, not a right, and they may be removed at any time due to inmate or family misconduct. Inmates are also often moved late at night, so you should check with the jail to see if the inmate is still there before travelling there.
There is travel assistance available from the Department of Corrective Services. There's a few eligibility criteria that go with this. If you're interested in applying for travel assistance, I would recommend contacting the jail where the person is being held and asking about the process at that jail. The first time you visit someone in jail, you'll need to take ID, and every visit after you will as well. But the first time you visit, there'll be a longer processing period as you fill out paperwork and have your ID checked.
Do I have to go in there? Don't you want to see your dad?
You look scary.
Oh, come on, we've just driven all this way. You can't do that to me now.
Do I have to talk to anyone?
No, you don't have to talk to anyone. You can just talk to me, all right?
They're gonna be dogs.
Yeah, there might be some dogs in there. Best behaviour, you two.
Prison visits are often characterised by unpleasant experiences, with families enduring intrusive security procedures, including sniffer dogs, bag searches and body searches.
The dogs won't touch you. If they sniff something, they sit down.
Hey. Hi mate, how are you? Hey, listen, I really need some money.
What for?
Well, ciggies for a start.
How much do you get from the print shop?
Well, it's only $30 a week and I need to buy food. No, what they give you here is shit.
Look, you know, things are pretty tough at home at the moment. I mean, it cost a fair bit in petrol to get out here today and I have to pay for after-school care for the kids. Hey.
Wait, settle down.
Families, whilst they feel a responsibility to financially support their person in custody, they also need to think about their own needs, particularly when there are children in the house.
Inmates who keep in close contact with their family and friends tend to have much better jail experiences, and they also tend to do better when they are finally released. Family ties remind the prisoner that they are more than just an offender.
Give him back here. This is it. Finally going home. Been dreaming about this for a long time.
I'm really looking forward to him being home, but things are going to be different.
I know, the kids are used to just having you around.
And then suddenly there's going to be this whole power shift.
Promised Suze I'd change, and look, I have changed.
You need to talk to him now. Imagine, you know, he's going to get out and he's going to want to party, catch up with the old mates. If he's doing the right thing, they won't breach him. And breaching is where they say, you're not following the conditions, he could possibly go back to jail, okay? Harry got breached 3 times. 3rd time, that's it, he's back in.
Parole authorities generally reluctant to revoke a parole order. They don't expect that people are going to have a clear run all the time, that they will run into issues, and it's our job to try and manage that re-entry process.
This is it. Over a year and now things are supposed to return to normal, whatever that is. So much has changed. I've changed. The kids have changed. He reckons he's changed. He bloody well better have.
I think being a family member of somebody in prison is one of the hardest things that people will go through, and it's often very isolating. The thing to remember is that there are a lot of other people in New South Wales at the same time dealing with very similar issues.
For information on any of the issues in the Justice Maze, contact CRC on 9288 8700.